Welcome to Heart Dialogue, where we believe that meaningful dialogues have the power to inspire, heal, and connect us on a deeper level. In this podcast, it's also about gathering and lifting a whole community up. Let us stand in response to people's cries and generate a current of dialogues for a better world. Let's HTHD!
Because I've been through a lot in life and I know what pain and brokenness is. Pain was a very close friend growing up. I've never knew a moment without pain. When I was 7 and when my parents divorced, it was not something that's very common back then. There's a lot of shame that came with it. I became the gang leader, So I was really like that confident person and But when the divorce happened, my personality completely changed.
Yes.
But I knew that I don't want to spend the rest of my life running away. It's something that I've always feared.
Hope transforms pessimism into optimism. Hope is invincible. Hope changes everything. It changes winter into spring. Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Heart Dialogue. And of course, today our guest, not the first time, she's Hosanna. Alright. And last time, I'm not sure if you guys remember the previous episode, she was the one who interviewed me, she was the host. So today, I'm gonna take back my host. Job. We're gonna deep dive into Hosanna life and what Hosanna is doing and why is she doing that. To uncover the passion at the back. I do prepare a box of tissue if that's needed. And also just to share, this is not gonna just be one episode thing. We're gonna do a series of topics about inner child, relationship with ourselves. And before we do that, and definitely let's get to know more about Hosanna. Hi, babe.
Hi friends. So as Candy has said, my name is Hosanna and today I'm the one being interviewed.
Yes, we're gonna have dialogue and I'm the host.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I think it's a mix of emotions. Happy to be here. But I think it's also really scary.
Okay, disclaimer. She actually came here without knowing about the topic or the area that we're gonna talk about. So we just gonna, as usual, we're gonna let it flow the heart. That's why we call it Heart Dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Hosanna, babe. We know each other since last year, November, right?
Yep.
It's just a short 4 months. I couldn't believe, I thought we have already known each other for like a year, at least.
Nah. We only met, actually, honestly, I can count my fingers how many times we met. Less than 10 times.
Really?
Face to face. Actually, face to face even lesser.
Okay.
The first time I met you was through Zoom.
Okay, true. Yes. Then we met.
Then we met Zoom again for your woman empowerment thing while I was in Bali, that group meeting. Then we met...
but before that, we had this podcast together before you went to Bali.
That was the first time I met you on the podcast?
Yes.
Bro, sis.
It's just so amazing, without the need of meeting a person so many times physically, yet that relationship, that kind of dialogue, the conversation that we had, it was actually deep,
Yeah. And I think a lot of it boils down to the person that we are.
Yes.
Because we are just so authentic and so real. We don't have to go through how's your day? What do you like? We just go real deep, real fast. And we really talk about things that really matter to us.
Yes. And we don't feel awkward at all. You can just ask me about my previous relationship. Yeah. And I actually shared about my previous relationship before.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, because we had this conversation before and we talk a lot about your past.
Yeah.
And I will say that your past, your experiences is as colourful.
Is that a good thing or not?
It's actually a good thing. If you look back, it's definitely colourful, right?
Painful.
Colourful, painful. Positively, it's colourful.
Yeah.
As mine. And yeah, let's do this together. Would you mind to share to the audience, to the friends around, what are you doing right now? What are you passionate with?
Yeah. Currently I am a full-time job. Well, full-time or side hustle, I am a coach.
Yes.
But what I'm really passionate about is people's hearts, healing people. I'll share this one story. Many years ago I still use it right now, the online dating app. And this person asked me, hey, if you had a superpower, what would you want? What kind of superpower would you want to have? Right? And my answer was, I would want to have the superpower to heal people's hearts.
Oh.
Because I was like, everyone is walking around with a heart that is broken in one way or another because of what has happened to them, right? Whether it's relationship or whether it's in their childhood. Yeah. And my desire was really, I just want to heal people's hearts.
I'm having a goosebump.
Yeah.
So touched.
And then he was like, whoa, that was deep. Because he was like, I just want to be able to fly.
You just stress out people, no? Stress people out.
So intense, right? That's how we go so deep so soon because I'm just like, I'm in.
At least I can catch you. But I can't imagine if any other guy will ask you.
He was like, whoa, red flag.
Probably he will give you like, oh, my superpower, I want to be maybe the Batman or the Superman. But then you'll be like, healing power. Not even the doctor. I cannot remember his name. Okay.
Yeah.
But why though, babe? Like, why would you... I mean, the reason behind this passion...
Yeah. I think because I've been through a lot in life and I know what pain and brokenness is. So I have so much compassion and empathy for people out there.
Okay. Before you even share about your past, with all that you have experienced, if you were to describe pain right now at the moment, how would you give this pain, these words, a definition?
I wouldn't exactly know how to answer that question, but I know that pain was a very close friend growing up. Like I've never knew a moment without pain. It's like a close friend, and it just follows you everywhere. And I hated it. I hated it. And I didn't know how to get rid of it. Yeah, but I think now pain comes and go as I'm also still in the process of healing and processing what has happened, but it's not like a constant companion now. It comes in seasons. So I would say right now, pain is present in my life because even openly sharing my story publicly opens up that can of worms. And
do you still feel pain at the moment as you're sharing?
Yeah, I do. Even just yesterday, I was just feeling this sadness, like deep sadness. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, because I took on a social media challenge for myself because it's March, right?
Yeah.
And I have a challenge for myself where I'm going to do one episode every week for this year because I wanted to overcome my fear of judgment.
What kind of judgment?
Just what people would think about me. It's a very human thing to wonder, will people judge me as I'm too emotional? Will people judge me as I have too much problems? The way you talk, the things you say, like what's wrong with you? Why do you have so much pain?
Yes.
So there's so much things that I'm wrestling with. But I knew that I don't want to spend the rest of my life running away. It's something that I've always feared.
Talking about running away, I think both of us, we kind of have the same tendency of, like when we met some troubles in life, our first instinct is to actually run away or try to hide.
Of course. But our trained instinct will be to run towards.
Yes.
And I'm going to share one story. So I have a lot of stories. So I'm going to share from, I realized, what's wrong with me, I post something on Instagram and then I really wrestle with it after that. What's wrong with you? Why you do such thing and then suffer after that? And I realized that it's actually something that came from my teenagehood. So my parents divorced when I was 7. And
is this okay to share?
Of course.
Sure.
Of course. I mean, I share it like that.
Okay.
I'm an open book.
Good.
So my parents divorced when I was 7. And then as a teenager, I came across, because at the point of time when I was 7 and when my parents divorced, it was not something that's very common back then.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, there's a lot of shame that came with it. I'm from a broken family. I don't have a dad. Something's
you were
wrong
just at the age of 7, yet you had that emotion in you?
Yeah.
Did you aware such emotion or?
I was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like, I always felt like I don't belong to a child body. My mind was very mature. And I think it might be because of the childhood that I came from, right? And I will go more into details about why.
Yes.
But as a child, I was not meant to be thrown into the adult world of brokenness, of pain, and I see it happening. But fast forward to when I was a teenager, I realized I came across statistics that talks about how children from divorced family have a higher chance of ending in divorce. And it makes sense to me because I've never seen love in action. I've never seen what a family looks like.
Okay.
Right? I see my parents maybe growing up fighting. So this would be a norm for me. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll go into a relationship with that, okay, this is how a relationship would look like. So then the statistics make sense to me.
Yes.
And also I understand something called generational curses,
Yes.
where I look at my family and I'm like, damn, there is a pattern happening there.
Yes.
And I'm next in line.
Before we go deep into all this revelation, just to recap a little bit, because Hosanna actually shared about she came from a broken family, and as young as age of 7, and you'll be surprised because a lot of parents, they thought that children have no thinking on themselves.
Yeah.
Because you are as young as 7 years old, yet you were telling me that you actually aware back then that you felt abandoned,
Yeah.
you felt ashamed of yourself, and all those were actually a very heavy emotion for a child to handle.
Very.
And then growing up, you realize this childhood actually shaped you.
Of course. Yeah, I realized that there's a lot of baggage. Even though it was not my divorce, it was my parents' divorce, I knew that I had to carry certain baggage. Yeah. And
What kind of baggage are we talking here?
the fear of abandonment, the very deep root of like, wow, my parents divorced, my dad don't want me. So even though I was a child, right, but like I knew that I have this fear of like just people leaving me. Yeah, so this is a baggage that I inherited, not from my own wrongdoing, but simply because my parents divorced, right?
So, like when you're talking about afraid of people abandoning you,
Yeah.
how did your behavior actually change at the age of 7 when your parents, or I believe even before your parents divorced, they had been fighting, right?
I can't really, honestly, no, I was really trying very hard as a teenager to look back at like memories of my childhood, and I cannot remember one single happy memory.
Oh my God.
But I think scientifically, it's also because your brain just kind of blocks it. So I cannot say that there was no happy. Probably there were, but yeah, I cannot really remember. But I do remember fights, and it was definitely traumatic. And I mean, I'm glad they divorced because it's like a lesser of two evils. If they were together, I think it would have been very tough as well to watch things happen, you know?
Yes.
So both are bad, but at least with the divorce, there's certain peace, you know.
Within the family? Or
well,
you mean you yourself?
I don't have to see the fights and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I totally lost the question. What did you say?
No worries, I'm lost as well. I'm just...
The baggages.
Yeah, baggages. Yeah, no worries, you just go with the flow because I was just asking about the baggages.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like, I remember when I was 7, I was in primary school. I was a very strong person. I was very confident. I was like my teacher's pet. I was like the, class monitress, And I remember like when we first entered school, right? We were trying to set up a gang.
Yeah.
And there were like a few kids, all 7-year-old lah. And we were like, okay, we have to find a gang leader.
So you were the gang leader?
Hang on, don't cut my story. I'm going to get there.
Okay.
So we're going in one round. We're going to decide who is the gang leader.
Okay.
And we're going to decide based on who is the oldest, based on your birthday. Okay. So like, I'm screwed. My birthday's in July. I will never be the gang leader. But I was very smart. I was very like, witty. I don't know what you call that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go last.
Okay.
So I hear everybody's birthday first, right? Then I lie about mine. So I became the gang leader. So I was really like that confident person and yeah. But when the divorce happened, my personality completely changed. And
Like
because of the divorce.
Okay, from this to...
Yeah, because of the divorce, I had to change school twice.
Why?
Move out of the house. We moved elsewhere. So I had to change school. And it was hard, getting into a completely different environment, Like my whole world just completely changed in one instant. My family is gone. I moved, my house, my friends, everything was just like gone.
At the point of time, right, as young as age of 7, have you ever thought of what family meant to you?
No, I was too young to think about. All I could think about was, oh, my parents are divorced. My parents are divorced. I don't have a dad.
Do you even understand or go and think about what divorce means?
No. I never know what divorce means, but I intuitively knew when my brother told me that I had to leave, change school, and my parents separated. I knew that like something, I couldn't explain it. It's not something logical. I just knew in my spirit that, okay, you know, gone.
They are not going to be together. I cannot see mom and dad together ever again, as simple as that.
Yeah, and it was tough because as a young child, suddenly I felt like I had to choose between my dad or my mom. I had to show my loyalty to one of my parents and like...
Was it what's happening? What had happened before? You had to choose?
Just because your parents divorced, they're no longer one, right? And now they're like, if I love my mom, doesn't mean I'm betraying my dad. If I love my dad, doesn't mean I'm betraying my mom. So like, suddenly I'm thrown into all this confusion, you know? And if I talk to my dad, I feel guilt towards my mom.
However, your parents have never instructed you like, oh, you don't talk to mom. No, but it was really your inner struggle.
Because you could see the hostility already. Even as a child, we don't talk about, Asian parents, we don't discuss all these things. But as a child, I watch all these things. I knew.
Okay, stop right here. I must share that, through whatever things that you shared. It's not right for adults to think that children have no thinking of their own.
No.
Children are very sensitive. In fact, yes, they like you couldn't describe what's happening. However, intuitively, you know what's happening. And this is actually have already implanted in your mind subconsciously.
Yeah. I remember because I go to childcare. Oh yeah, so I changed school and I got bullied in school, from the bully, the gang leader that protect my people, I became the bullied. I was so vulnerable. And I remember I was in the childcare and because my parents separated, right? And my dad knew I was in that childcare and he came to visit me, and I had so much fear that I'm betraying my mom. I actually hid under the table and like, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me. I cannot betray my mom. It's a lot. It's a lot for a child. And
yeah, because definitely, as a daughter, as a child, right, we naturally craving for love from a father.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, but to put it out there, like my dad and I are good.
Yeah.
Like we're fine now. I see him every single week. We have a good relationship. Thankfully, because a lot of people whose parents are divorced, they don't keep in contact, but I do. So I'm glad now lah.
So like, at the moment, right, have you shared with them like how this incident actually made you who you are today and what you are passionate with?
No. But I had a conversation with them as a teenager about how the divorce impacted me. I actually had open conversation with my mom and with my dad.
When was that?
Secondary school.
Wow.
Yeah. And they just sat there and let me talk about it. So I'm really grateful for that experience.
So like, okay, we wind back a little bit. So you were saying like your personality completely changed, right?
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned about something like you please people pleaser, like.
Yeah. So as a child of a divorced family, right, you kind of learn a lot of things because of circumstances. You learn to read people very well because you have to appease your dad and your mom. So when you're with your mom, you have to like, I cannot show my mom that I love my dad because then that's betrayal to you. Then when I'm with my dad, I cannot show that I love my mom because then it feels like betrayal to my dad. So you just kind of learn how to read people. You learn how to get into your good books.
Yes.
So it's part of a street smart that divorced children would have.
And nobody taught you that.
No, it's life circumstances. It's just like how if you're oldest child, middle child, or the last child, you have certain traits in you that is just because of your birth order.
This is just so interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to be taught. So that's why I'm very good at reading people sometimes. I'm very good at, I know how to get into people's good books.
Yeah.
Just by reading because of the divorce. So
that's your superpower.
It is my superpower, which is why it makes me a very good coach because I read people well.
Yes.
Yeah, so interesting fun fact.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Early morning getting into such a emotional topic, but which is good.
And it's really fun because these are things that I am processing even while I'm talking about it. I mean, these are things I knew, but I've never really talked about it,
Yes.
whether privately or in public. So I really appreciate this opportunity for me to even share and process things like that.
And regarding like talking about things, right? I mean, other than just like me sharing with you or you sharing with me in podcasts, actually, again, the main purpose of having heart-to-heart dialogue, this podcast, right, is actually to share with my friends out there, the audience out there, that, hey, you don't need to do this on air.
Yeah.
You can do this offline. And like the fact that, I'm not sure how many times I've mentioning about this, I have no pre-arrangement with my guests whosoever, except those, like for charitable purposes, I do need to prepare. But for all the guests out that came to my podcast, my intention is to actually share with the audience that, hey, having a dialogue, heart-to-heart dialogue is as simple as just be present at the moment. It's okay that sometimes you just forgotten about the question. Sometimes you get very emotional. Sometimes you don't even know how to make the other person feel good. It's okay. Just let them talk. And as simple as a hug that we can offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the purpose of having a heart-to-heart dialogue. And that's the important thing. Like, as we talk about it, we will get more clarity actually.
Yeah.
And share a little bit story. Last week I met with this client, and like you mentioned, like it's actually the energy level that we attract, like we attract the same kind of people. And my client, we were supposed to talk about finance, right? But we talk about all this energy level thing, and we actually talk about inner child.
Wow.
And I was sharing with her, like, you know how many times I cried? And then you know what she shared with me? She said, babe, do you know why would you cry? I said, I don't know. She said, because you have found her.
Aww.
Oh my God, instantly I'm like, I started to imagine myself. Just imagine like the inner child, right? For example, the 7 years old Hosanna. She was hiding at a corner. Imagine a big room, right? A big condo. Like you have so many rooms there. Like just one of the rooms that she was hiding there all the while. From 7 until now 27.
Oh, I'm already 33.
Oh my God, so young. Okay, you look very young. Okay,
thank you.
For so many years, she was hiding there. She was actually hiding there. And then now finally, like, oh, you open up this room and you say, hey girl, you are here. Finally, I found you. Just give her a hug. She was so touched that you actually found her finally. And then my client was like, that's why you cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, hell true, man. That's why every time I cry. And then she said, every time you cry, just cry because you have found yourself. Your younger self, your inner child, or whoever you want to call it. And then she said, just tell her, hey, it's okay. I'm going to bring you along with me. You're safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of client I'm meeting, man?
Crazy.
Right. And I believe you have so much to talk about inner child and how it actually came to process to find your inner child, because this is who you are.
Yeah. And to even share a little bit more about what you mentioned about, you found your inner child, you found that goal inside of you. It's really about homecoming. It's like coming home back to me. And like for so many people, they try to find all this, we all have needs in our life as kids, right? There's a need to be seen, to be nurtured, to be loved, to be held.
Yeah.
And even though like for myself, I'm a 33-year-old, in a 33-year-old body, but there's always that little kid inside of me that still have needs as a child that went unmet by our parents. No matter how perfect your family is, nobody is perfect. Your parents can never fully meet your needs.
Yeah.
And we walk around with a hollow heart, with needs in our lives that we are still hoping for somebody else that could meet them. Could be maybe there's a hollow need of like to be seen and recognized. So person with such a wound might go out there and try to 闯世界, accomplish so much because like, please see me, see my accomplishments, see that I'm somebody, that I'm not good for nothing, right? Somebody with a need to just be loved could go around looking for love.
Or maybe seek for oh yes, you are great. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Without knowing that actually we should do it for ourselves.
Exactly. And coming home to me, right, is realizing that actually everything that I need is found in me. Meaning I can give myself everything that I need.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to go out there to find somebody to meet it, but never.
However, this whole process is a constant process.
It's a forever
work in process that we need to keep reminding ourselves that, hey, remember to give yourself a pet. Love yourself more. And talking about this, being a child in a divorced family, right? The day I was having this conversation with Zen, she was saying like, Hosena is just because she divorced, right? And then she said she's exactly the product of a divorced family.
Yeah.
And she said it will be so wonderful and so impactful to have you share about your journey, like your inner work, to let the parents out there, regardless, are they deciding they want to divorce or they have already divorced and with a children, at least with your story, right? At least they would know that, hey, even my children is just 5 years old. They have feelings, they have emotion, just that they don't know how to describe themselves. And definitely such emotion will accompany them and affect them.
Definitely.
Until you don't know when, what age, what time they are matured and have the courage, be brave enough to sit down there to process the emotion, which a lot of people, they may not have the chance talking about that.
Yeah. Not aware,
that they needed all this.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy to go through all this processing as well. So for me, right, why I do all of this is because as a teenager, again, going back to knowing that the statistics that children of divorced family ends in divorce.
Yes.
And seeing the generational curses. And again, because of what happened in my family, I was very aware of things. My consciousness was very just awakened lah.
Yes.
And I made a decision, almost like an inner vow, that I'm going to do whatever it takes so that this curse ends with me.
When did you make this vow?
As a teenager, probably 13, 14. And I'm like, because I was already in so much pain as a teenager. And, when I was young, right, even though my parents divorced, like I took it upon myself as in my mom is suffering. I cannot make her suffer more. So I hold everything, like I hold the world for myself, And so I was carrying just a lot of stuff. And so because I knew how painful it is to have my family like end in divorce. I would never want my kid to go through it. And so I made a vow that like I would do whatever it takes. I would work through all my baggages. Because again, I could see that there were baggages that were being passed down by my generation.
Yes. As young as a teenager. Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna run into the pain. Everything that I'm like, I want to run away from, I'm gonna run into it. And that was the purpose of like, it's gonna end with me. It's not gonna come into my marriage. It's not gonna come to my kids. It was just that decision. And
it was so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what kept me until today, which was why I was going back to yesterday. I was like, Hosanna, why the hell do you post all these things and then later regret? No, I don't regret. But after posting, it's like, guys, this is my heart. Check it out. It's raw. It's vulnerable. It's like for the world to see. And I'm just like broken on the inside.
Oh.
But why do I do it? And I remember because as a teenager, I told myself I was going to run into it. And no matter how painful it is, I'm going to face it. I need to give you a hug. Yeah.
You're so brave.
Yeah. And knowing that I'm not alone, knowing that if I'm going through all this, somebody else is facing the same thing. And I want people to know that they're not alone.
Yes. You will never ever be alone.
Yeah.
Even if it seems like at the front, nobody else in front of me, as if I'm walking alone, but hey, look at the back. Hell, a lot of people are following you. You are becoming the leader.
Yeah, but yes, and painful.
Yes. Leaders are all alone.
Yeah. Oh, I hate this, but like recently I was processing my inner child stuff, and the thing that's coming up for me a lot this season is I'm so alone.
Oh my God.
So alone. It was tough. I mean, that's why I'm in a lot of pain even right now, because I'm still processing that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm nurturing that inner child that, hey, I'm here with you. You're not alone. You're not abandoned.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for the trust.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot in the energy attracts energy. And I believe the audience that who's going to like heart-to-heart dialogue, they're not going to judge. I believe the audience out there, my audience out there, definitely have a lot of compassion. Yeah. That's what I trust.
Yeah.
I believe there's no single negative comments are going to be down there judging people.
But I'm going to say that the logic part of me is like, that's unrealistic. And that's preparing myself for failure if I think there's no negative comment. In fact, I'm like, okay, if it comes, it's fine.
I mean, those who dropping negative comments, all the more they are broken inside.
Correct.
I would
Yes.
say you even need more of such episodes that you need to watch. For those who are feeling uncomfortable or feeling hatred whenever we are talking at this kind of topic, right? I would say that you should even go and look into yourself and do the work yourself before you even comment such posts. Because we have to know that everything that we do, there's a cause and effect.
Yeah.
If you keep hurting people right now, you are not hurting people, but you are hurting your soul, yourself, the invisible thing.
Yeah. There's this saying that says that hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And like for me personally, like, because I'm someone that's very deep. When I look at somebody, right, I'm always, there's more to this person. When a person behaves a certain way, I always want to understand, because like when understanding brings grace,
Yes.
right? Like when somebody's acting just like a crap, it's just acting like shitty, right? But like if you really get to understand their story, it will make sense.
There must be a reason.
Yeah.
'Cause there's no, not a normal people, common people would do such a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I would say definitely we are so great that just because we've been through a lot, and exactly because we've been through a lot, that's why we have so much compassion, so much love for other people. And no matter what kind of stories that our friends or people would want to tell us, right? We could be as calm. Okay.
Yeah, like we have the capacity to hold people's mess and darkness because we are so comfortable with our own mess and darkness. Which is honestly a gift, because not many people can do that. But then again, it goes back to you feel so alone, because there's this deep desire that I wish somebody could hold space for me the way I hold space for somebody.
Oh.
Which is why I created my inner child group program.
Yes.
To want to be a safe space for people.
Yes, because you are creating your inner child. Okay, what's your inner child program like?
So basically, this program is a 3-month program, and it's a group activity, a community where people can come together and have a non-judgmental safe space to really process their pain and really come home back to themselves.
What kind of people are you looking at to be in this program?
Honestly, I'm open right now because it's a new program, and I'm kind of like just trying and testing it out. Because it's something that is not common in the market. It's very unique.
Have you ever thought of like maybe collaborate with some I'm not sure, psychologists or psychiatrists?
Nah, that might be too formal already. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's
Because
just
you're focusing
out there.
Really in the community.
Yeah.
The trust, the support, like you mentioned, the safe space to share.
Space, yes, correct. So yeah.
Oh, we definitely would look into more into the inner child, the generational curse that we actually mentioned about, because I do think that this is such another topic.
Huge topics.
Talk about, I have something to share about that as well, which we're gonna bring it to another episode. Coming to this, I actually have one question which I'm curious to ask. You see, I'm too delved in this dialogue, which my mind just shifted. What was this thing I wanted to ask you actually? Oh, yes. I wanted to ask, if you don't mind sharing, how this divorce, being in a divorce as a children who grown up in a divorced family, right? How would this affect your relationship?
Of course. So, all of us as humans, when we are born into the world, we're born into the world wanting love.
Yes.
Right? And because of that, all of us have strategies in life to earn love. So for some people, again, it could be I be the perfect child, then I earn my parents' love. For some people like myself, it's I learn how to please you, then I earn love. So this people-pleasing tendency and my ability to, again, anticipate needs and meet them. And so how did my childhood impact my relationship? So the first relationship I entered in, I realized I have this pattern of choosing safe people. Safe in a sense where you're very boring.
Okay.
You are so boring.
Qualified.
You're
okay,
so
safe is boring.
But I know you're not cheat on me. I know you'll not leave me. I know you will not abandon me.
The main thing is not to be betrayed.
To be abandoned.
Abandoned.
So this really because of this wound after my parents' divorce, I have this abandonment wound where I'm so afraid of people leaving me. I choose men who are so safe that I know that you love me a lot, but my heart is not connected to you. So I go around. So I have patterns in my initial relationships of just choosing this kind of men, but I'm not in love. The first guy I dated, I wanted if I was lesbian because I don't like kissing him. But he was so safe,
Do you mean like
lesbian?
the face safe, the face looking like safe, or the correct
I know
personalities?
Because I know I'm so good. Like, okay, it sounds very bad, but I know that I'm a good partner, and I know that you will not break up with me. That kind of safe.
Yeah.
Because I know how to make you happy. I know how to take care of you.
Yeah.
Right? So you're safe, but you won't leave me. But like, I'm not in love with you.
You're kind of like pleasing this. There's this comments like you pleasing your partner.
People pleasing tendency, yeah. So I almost become like the nurturer. Like I'll take care of you very well, but I don't feel like I'm being taken care of in a way that matters to me. Yeah. So that. And then how my childhood impacted me was also I don't know how to stand up for myself. Like I will take bullshit.
Like you don't know how to say no.
I don't know how to say no, but like you can act like shit, but I would have so much compassion for you and be like, that's okay. We can work on this.
Why though? Just afraid of being abandoned as well?
I think as I grew older, it's less of... Okay, so because my parents separated, there's such a deep desire to want to belong and have my own family. So I really want to settle down. I really want to have a family. So I really want to make it work. And to a certain extent, I feel in control when I'm the one that is nurturing the person. Because
I get it.
I'm in control.
I get it.
What do you get?
It's kind of like the same feeling. Like as you give, you know that this person won't leave you. You have the security. You know that...
Strategy for love, yes.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay if I have to do much more. But this is where my value is.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You won't leave me because I offer so much value.
Even if my cup already drained, it's okay. So long as your cup is full, you won't leave me. You are sufficient. And I find my value in this relationship. And my identity in this relationship is just to please you.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like my best friend's friends who knows me, they'll be like, always ask my best friend, like, hey, why is she with that guy? And why is she with that guy? Yeah. And so it definitely impacts the way I choose the person that I did. But I think I'm in a very different place today. A lot more different, with greater awareness and knowing exactly what I want. And being at ease with my truth, that the kind of person I'm looking for might not be somebody that is easy to find.
Yeah. We will come into this in next episode about, how Hosanna did the inner work for herself. And like she mentioned, it's actually the work in progress.
Work in progress.
And it's a whole life progress.
Whole life.
Every single day.
Can I explain why whole life?
Yeah, sure.
Because I personally, right, like it's like an onion. Right? As a single, I can do all the work. I'm like, okay, I'm zen, I'm good. But when I'm attached, right, there'll be things that's triggered in you that will not be triggered when you're single. And then the work continues.
Yes.
Then you become a parent and your children are going to trigger you in a way that your partner will not trigger. That's why it's a whole life thing, because it's layer upon layer upon layer and deeper into deeper and deeper. You know, that's why it's a whole life process.
Yeah. I was actually imagining, as you were sharing, imagine this is us and we have our frequency around us, right? Our energy level. So once we get a hang of our energy level, our frequency, we know how we can stay zen, already stable, right? And then suddenly another individual came in, his vibration may not be as stable, then both have to sync, see how to be stable together. And then come another child, another problem. 3 person have to vibrate together because it's a family, right? Have to make the energy level, the vibration equal, at least stable. Wow.
Yeah, it's a ongoing process.
I'm sure because since you are gonna have your inner child community, you definitely have some forms of ways to how to deal with how to work with our inner child. If you don't mind, you can share about a little bit about that the next time, like how you did that for yourself, because I would say that you have so much story to share. I can't even finish within an hour. Because I also didn't want like to be here and there, like half here and there. And I would say that your past was so colorful. Although
Not
yes,
in a bad way, okay? People think colorful, they would think like, wow, she sleep a lot.
oh, sorry.
Not that kind, okay?
Not that kind of colorful.
Disclaimer, okay? My reputation very important still,
Yeah,
okay?
black color, grey color, dark blue color, maybe dark chocolate color. But right now, if you were to look back your previous experiences, I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, right now, at this moment, if you were to tell your inner child, like maybe a letter to your inner child, maybe a particular sentence or some statements, some comfortable words, what would you tell her?
I've been talking to her the last few days, but
as per your right now,
I'll tell her that she's enough. Because, I'll tell her that she's enough. Because there's so much even shame that might be coming up as I'm talking about this publicly, right? And shame always makes you feel like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And so I think what I want to tell her that like, she's enough, I'm enough, and I'm going to take care of her. No matter what happens, I'm going to take care of her. And we are going to be okay. And it can feel really, really scary to open up that can of worms. But she's not alone. She's not alone.
I want to do this for you. Remember you did with me last time? Like, I want you to close your eye.
Stealing my stuff, hey?
This is my first time doing this, okay? I've never done with anybody else.
She's learning.
Close your eyes and put your... Yes!
I taught you that, lady.
Yes! Yeah, I would love you to picturing yourself. You're in a room. You're on the way to find that little Hosanna. I'm sure you know where she's hiding and she's actually waiting for you. Go towards her. Open up that door. Hey, you're here. Try to look at her expression. Try to see how is she feeling right now. Probably she's feeling safe. Finally, you found me. Hey, I'm here. Yeah, for so many years, finally I'm here. Yes, the little Hosanna is actually telling you, hey, babe, thank you for having the courage to open up this door. And definitely she's telling you, I love you too. I have the same compassion to you, and we got this together. And now you kind of like hold her hands, hug her, as if you are the mother to her, to a little child. Just let her know that, hey, we are going to step out of this door together to the unknown world. It's okay. We got this together. And you got me for the rest of the life. So you open up the door again. Here we are into this beautiful world. And you will definitely receive so much love and compassion from the people around you, to the community. They definitely welcome you and your inner child together. They love both of you completely. And when you're ready, you can open up your eye. Good job.
I think what came up for me when I was doing that was really this sentence of come out of hiding. There's no need to hide anymore. And I think this message is about, I feel like for so long, like because of what happened, I mean, we all wear masks.
Yeah.
We all hide behind a mask of pretending we're okay.
Yes.
And it's almost like, it's safe to tell your story. Come out of hiding.
Yes.
There's no need to hide anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
More settled, more at peace. And it almost feels like I'm transitioning into a new season of my life.
Yeah. Definitely. You are. By stepping out, opening up that door, it gives the universe the opportunity to give you more strength and love. Right?
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm still settling my thoughts.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay to be quiet and
Yeah.
just letting it settle.
These few days, I've been telling myself the inner child as well. The word alone, it was my words for the previous day as well. Like previous week. Yeah. Because it's just like people like us, right? We tend to be a lot more compassionate to other people, like be sensitive about other people's feeling, and we tend to take in a lot of other people's emotion, and then we will reflect on ourselves. We take it upon ourselves. And we also tend not to influence other people negatively. And like me, I really tend to just take everything on myself. And I really feel that word alone. But then I told myself, hey, it's okay. This is the path that I've chosen for myself. I asked myself, am I prepared to be the one to lead in front? It's okay, there's no one in front of me. But when I look back, I have a lot of love at the back.
Wow.
Yeah, see.
And I think what comes up for me as you're saying that is like, I'm taking this journey, even embracing this aloneness, right? So that other people don't have to feel alone.
Yes. And in fact, even if looking at front, you don't have any other people, like with the community, with us, you look to your side, we are here. We are all marching forward together. No one is in front of anybody else. We started this together. And yeah, we have got each other together with our inner child together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think even as we're coming towards the end of it, like as you're sharing, I just feel like this sense of hope. Like there's a greater purpose of what this is for, and there's this hope to be the change we want to see in the world.
Oh my God, mentioning about hope. I want to share something. Yesterday I was at my Buddhism meeting, right? I actually took a photo of this quote about hope.
So in sync, hey?
Yeah, man. Okay, this is from the late third president of Soka Gakkai, Ikeda Sensei. So I quote, "Hope transforms pessimism into optimism. Hope is invincible. Hope changes everything. It changes winter into spring, darkness into dawn, descent into ascent, bareness into creativity, agony into joy. Hope is the sun. It is light. It is light. It is passion." Unquote.
Oh, so beautiful.
We got this together, and thank you for sharing, babe, vulnerably.
Thank you for having me here, babe.
The next discussion gonna be so much empowering, so much hopeful to ourselves and of course to the audience. Thank you. Let's give us a hug.
Let me try to get out.
Good job. Thank you for being part of this incredible dialogue. We hope this episode has inspired you to embrace heart-to-heart dialogue in your own life. If you love to share your stories with us, DM us, comment below, or use the hashtag #HTHDstories. Your voice matters, and we can't wait to listen and learn from you. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with your friends. Remember, every genuine conversation has the power to make a difference. Let's make an impact together. Till next time.